everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting the brand new Haleth, Prince of Rohan, from the Battle of Edoras, War of the Rohirrim box set that Games Workshop have very kindly sent me early to build up and paint with all of you, and that is exactly what we are doing today, and I'm very excited because this is very cool. It's a very nice new Rohan Prince for us to build up and paint. So we are going to jump in and we are going to start doing exactly that. Now the colour we are going to be using first is Seraphim Sepia, and we are mostly going to be focusing here on the horse because everything that is on the one on foot is exactly the same as it's on the one on horse. So if something comes up, we will of course cover it, but we're basically going to be focusing on the mounted version. Now Haleth has been primed in grey Seer, and as mentioned, our first colour is going to be some Seraphim Sepia. We're going to be applying this over the top of the horse's flesh, and we're also going to apply this over the top of the horse's tail and the horse's mane. So we're just going to get this all over just like this, and then once that's all done, we'll come back. Just whilst we're waiting for all that Seraphim Sepia to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Imperial Fist and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the kind of yellow barding on the horse. This is just for the sake of speed, really. Now don't worry about avoiding any of the kind of dark red. We'll deal with that a little bit later on. So with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 2-to-1 mix of Reikland Fleshshade and Fuegan Orange. And we're going to apply this over the top of the horse's skin, but not the hair. And so with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Nazdreg Yellow. I'm going to apply this over top of all of our yellow barding. So with that all done, we're then going to very gently take some Morghast Bone and we're going to dry brush this over the top of the horse's flesh. You want to kind of take this in a circular motion. Just very gently building it up. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Word Bearer's Red, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the trim and things, all of that dark red in the barding. And I'd recommend having a look at the box art as to where this all goes. There is rather a lot of it. So just, as always, take your time here. And then once that's all done, we'll come back. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Dark Angel's Green, and we're going to apply this over top of the saddle blanket. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over the top of the hooves. Like so. I'm going to apply it over the top of the inside of the horse's mouth and the horse's eyes. And we're going to apply it over the top of all of the horse's leather. Excluding the actual saddle bit. And so with all that Black Legion applied, we then want to take some Snakebite Leather, and we're going to apply this over top of the saddle. And with that then done, I'm going to take some Nuln Oil, and we're going to apply this over top of the Dark Angel's Green on the the saddle blanket, and we're also going to apply this over top of the fur around the outside of the saddle. So with that all done, excluding the metallics, we've actually got all of our base coats on the horse. So it's now time to move on to Prince Haleth. So the colour we're going to be using first here is Cygor Brown. And we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the kind of leather armour, excluding like the fancy bits of trim on the legs. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over the top of the trousers, the boots, the gloves, and the haft of the spear. So with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 2 parts Dark Angel's Green to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. And we're going to apply this over the top of the cloak. And we're going to do it in 2 layers. So we're going to do this twice. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Wyldwood. We're going to apply this over the top of the trim on the leg. And with that Wyldwood all applied, we're then going to take some Fyreslayer Flesh. And we're going to apply this over top of the face. And with that Fyreslayer Flesh applied, we then want to take some Skeleton Horde and apply this over top of the hair. And so with that done, we are then going to once again use some thinned down Word Bearer's Red. And we're going to use this over the top of Haleth's belt. Which is in there. Like so. And we're also going to use this over the top of the winged trim on the helmet. And so with that all done, it's now time to add some metallics. Now, the first of these is going to be some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to be applying this over all the top of the chainmail. Like that. We're going to be applying this over the top of the helmet. Everywhere that we haven't already done. We've got the hooves. Or the shoes of the horse. Got the spear tip. And we've got the horse's head armour as well. But what we're also going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of the kind of gaps in the chest plates between all the sort of horsey trim. So I'd recommend having the box art open for this bit, because not all of these plates have a little bit of silver in. And so with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to apply this over top of all of our remaining details. So with that all done, it's time to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be some Nuln Oil. I'm going to be applying this over top of all the silver. And we will also apply this over top of the black leather boots and gloves. As well as the scabbard. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Reikland Fleshshade and we're going to apply this over the top of all the gold. So with those shades applied, Prince Haleth is now at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. And, well, he's looking pretty fantastic. But we're not going to leave it there, of course not. We're going to take it to the next level. And we're going to do this by adding some highlights. Now, the first of these highlights is going to be some thinned down Pallid Wych flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight the horse's hair. Well, let me say that again. The horse's tail and the horse's mane. So with all that Pallid Wych flesh applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Screaming Skull. And we're going to use this to highlight the horse's flesh. And we're also going to use this as a tiny little dot in the corner of the horse's eyes. And to pick out the horse's teeth. And we're going to use this to highlight the prince's hair. So with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Gitz Yellow, and we're going to use this to add some little highlights to all the yellow. So with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Wild Rider Red, and we're going to use this to highlight all the red. So with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Gorthor Brown, and we're going to use this to highlight all of the brown, including the Wyldwood. It'll be more pronounced on the Cygor Brown, but that's exactly what we want. So with that all done, we now want to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight all the black details. So with that all done, our next colour is going to be some thinned down Warboss Green. I'm going to use this to highlight the cloak. So with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight the faces. And so with that then done, we're going to take a tiny amount of Black Legion. I'm going to apply this over the top of the eyeballs. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver. And so with that all done, we're now going to finish off Prince Haleth by taking some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all the gold. And so with the base is now complete in the same style as our usual recipe, Sterling Mud with a dry brush of Tyrant Skull and some tiny tufts from Gamer's Grass, Prince Haleth is now finished. I really enjoyed this one. The yellow in particular was a highlight for me. I'm really pleased with how that's come out. But also that combination with Wordbearer's Red. Yep, no contrast reds here, just layer paints. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.